It is 119 years since the Commonwealth of Australia was proclaimed, with the Act coming into effect on the 1st of January the following year. Later this year, it is the 20th anniversary of the Republic referendum. So what's the state of the Republic debate in Australia today? Here's Dr. Benjamin Jones from Central Queensland University. Hi, Benjamin. So how strong is the Republican movement today? How much support does it have?
Good afternoon. Well, support for the Republic has been growing pretty steadily since around 2014, 2015, and particularly it had a big injection of energy when Bill Shorten announced he was going to have a plebiscite within the first term of government if he won the election this year. So, and there also was a poll in October, an independent poll. This was while Meghan and Harry were visiting, that said 52% of Australians support a republic. So it was tracking quite nicely, but it's sort of on pause at the moment, given that Bill Shorten didn't win that election, and it now seems the plebiscite is not going to happen, at least not in this term of Parliament.
What real difference would becoming a republic make to Australia in terms, Benjamin, of its government?
Well, structurally, it would mean that there is no force within the Australian Constitution that is outside of Australia. But I think it has always been framed more as a symbolic gesture and also a way of shaping the national identity. The Senate is, as we speak, taking submissions about Australian national identity, and this is a dynamic and ongoing process. When that proclamation came out 119 years ago, when the Federation happened in 1901, Australia's constitution, as well as its national symbols, were all designed to send the message at home and abroad that this is a white British Christian nation, and becoming a republic would be part of the decolonisation process to say that's what we were then, what we are now is a proud, successful, inclusive, multicultural society.
Could Australia, do you think, learn from other countries who become republics?
Well, in a sense, Australia is something of a trailblazer. Of course, many nations did become republics, but they tended to be nations that were under very severe colonisation from European powers, whereas obviously Australia's First Nations experienced it, but for the majority of colonists, they were quite happy to be part of a settler society. And so comparable nations to Australia would probably be New Zealand and Canada, who haven't become a republic. So perhaps it'd be more the case if Australia becomes a republic, there would be lessons for Canada or New Zealand to learn from us.
So what's your prediction then, Benjamin? Will we eventually become a republic, and if so, when?
Well, that's a very difficult question to answer, but I'm an optimist, and I do think that it will be it will happen eventually, because Australians will not be satisfied forever to say that we are a democracy, but our head of state is chosen through hereditary title, to say that we value mateship and equality and a fair go, but by the same token, only people born into a specific family can be our leaders. I think the inconsistency between what monarchy represents and what Australian national values are is too great for a republic to not at least be debated with seriousness. I think had Bill Shorten won and had that plebiscite happen, these things can happen very quickly. It may even have happened within 5 years or so. Now it's impossible to predict, but I certainly think it will happen in our lifetime.
Dr. Benjamin Jones, thank you.
My pleasure.